Imagine walking through a dark, humid jungle where the air is heavy with the smell of damp foliage and earth. All of a sudden, you hear a small but frightening sound, the rustling of leaves. Your breath speeds up, and your heart beats faster as you turn. You see something huge and slithering through the brush. You realize that this is not just any snake. It is a Titanoboa. In this video, we'll uncover the biggest snake in history and how this powerful snake might send shivers down your spine and can give anyone appetizer, or the fear of snakes. The Titanoboa was not a regular serpent. It was a real alpha and apex predator of its era, a monster for most. Long before humans, or even contemporary snakes existed more than 60 million years ago, this fearsome serpent, which was more than 40 feet or over 12 meters long and weighed an incredible 2,500 pounds, dominated the jungles of what is now Colombia. It was a gigantic beast whose size alone could cause chills through anyone. Its size and capacity to confine its prey were far more deadly than its painful bite, which may have been its main weapon. Even more terrifying than its physical ability, though, was its capacity to blend in with its surroundings, making detection nearly impossible until it was too late. Picture yourself up against a monster that was large enough to take down anything in its path and strong enough to easily smash bones. The Earth was actually ruled by this reality millions of years ago. The rise of the Titanoboa. The question that arises is, how was such a massive serpent created? The extinction of the dinosaurs, one of the most significant events in Earth's history, is where the Titanoboa stories start. The Earth saw a significant change when the huge reptiles became extinct around 65 million years ago. Many ecosystems experienced significant changes with the absence of dinosaurs, which made room for new species to come into being. The Titanoboa finds a home in the ancient South American tropical rainforests. For a reptile of its size, the warm, humid atmosphere was ideal. Cold-blooded animals like snakes depend on their surroundings to control their body temperature, and the Paleocene rainforests offered a steady supply of warmth. The Titanoboa flourished and grew bigger than any snake that exists today. However, what made this extraordinary development possible? The amount of oxygen in the air was one important component. Because oxygen levels were significantly higher in the Paleocene than they are now, animals were probably able to reach unbelievable sizes. According to researchers, the Titanoboa's enormous size was supported by its body functioning more effectively because of the high oxygen levels. This enormous snake usually ate huge prey because of its slow metabolism, which allowed it to avoid the need for regular feeding. Our guess is that its favorite food would probably have ranged from crocodiles to lungfish or salmon. Its massive body would have allowed it to overwhelm and suffocate any animal it came into contact with, no matter how big or small. Titanoboa's size and strength. Since the start of this video, the enormity of Titanoboa is probably the first thing that comes to your mind. For comparison, the circulated python, the longest snake currently in existence, can grow up to 30 feet, or over 9 meters in length. However, the Titanoboa was 10 feet taller than this, making it an intimidating sight in the old jungle. The broadness of its body is even more frightening than its length. To visualize, think that a full-grown human might have easily fit inside the Titanoboa's coils due to its enormous muscularity and vast girth. Imagine a snake, thicker than a minivan, crawling through thick undergrowth, each movement potentially killing the animal it's aiming for. It was not merely for show. Any prey that the Titanoboa targeted would have been crushed to death by its muscular constriction. The Titanoboa used its enormous power to suffocate its prey, in contrast to venomous snakes that use swift strikes to deliver their deadly amount of poison. It could coil around an animal and then tighten its hold, squeezing until the victim could no longer breathe. And finally, the animal would die from either broken bones or suffocation. Even though it's severely terrifying to think of it at present, this hunting technique would have been very successful. The Titanoboa's strategy was slow and methodical, requiring it to pick its target carefully and wait for the ideal opportunity to attack. Constriction might take a few minutes, but once the Titanoboa had its target in its grips, the result was certain. The Titanoboa's ecosystem. It was not just the snake that was big on the planet then. The habitat itself was extraordinarily humid and lush, which made it ideal for the reptile to reach such enormous sizes. From fish to larger land creatures, Titanoboa had an endless supply of food due to warm temperatures of the Paleocene jungles. Although the Titanoboa was unquestionably the most prevalent predator in its habitat, it was not alone. There were many other incredible creatures in the Paleocene epoch's old Earth. Large fish swam through the streams, huge crocodiles hid in the rivers, and early mammals started to establish themselves in the ecology. However, none of these animals could compete with the Titanoboa, which had become the uncontested top predator of its day. In the swamps and thick forests of what's now South America, especially in what is now Colombia, the Titanoboa flourished. The Caraján coal mine in northern Colombia, which was formerly covered by a warm tropical rainforest, is where Titanoboa fossils have been found. Paleontologists have been able to put together the creature's size, habits, and surroundings thanks to these preserved remnants. Like most snakes, Titanoboa was quick in the water despite its size. The serpent's ability to swim enabled it to move across lakes and rivers, where it could easily locate fish, specifically lungfish, as well as other snakes, crocodiles, turtles, and other prey. It was a powerful predator due to this hunting strategy and its ability to live on land. Fossil discovery. The existence of Titanoboa was unknown until 2009. When paleontologists made a significant discovery. Scientists found fossils belonging to a snake much larger than any known species at Colombia's Caraján coal mine. It was obvious from the size of the vertebrae and other bones that this was the biggest snake to have ever existed. Prior to Titanoboa's discovery, the largest snakes known were rather small. But paleontologists had long hypothesized that huge snakes might have existed in earlier times. The discovery was remarkable, not only because of the size of the bones, but also because it provided information on the ancient South American ecosystems. Titanoboa had a highly developed hunting technique, as the fossils demonstrated. Given that its muscles were designed to provide immense force, its body structure indicated that it was very successful at confinement. It could also ambush its target with exceptional accuracy, waiting for the ideal opportunity to attack. The fossil's discovery also showed that Titanoboa was probably cold-blooded and relied on the tropical climate's warmth to regulate its body temperature. The influence of Titanoboa on our understanding of early life. Not only did the discovery of Titanoboa change our knowledge of snakes, but it also provided scientists with insight into the kind of animals that previously walked the planet. The snake's enormous size indicates that prehistoric specimens weren't limited by the same rules about size that apply to modern animals. This has caused paleontologists to reevaluate the conditions that made it possible for such enormous animals to flourish. Oxygen levels are one important aspect. As previously stated, the Paleocene's oxygen-rich atmosphere was probably crucial to the development of creatures like Titanoboa. Higher oxygen levels, according to scientists, enabled more efficient respiration, which, in turn, supported the growth of larger animals. Animals were able to become larger and stronger than anything alive today because their larger bodies allowed for more space for organs and muscle mass. Titanoboa's extraordinary size was also largely due to the absence of major predators. The disappearance of dinosaurs allowed new species to fill the gaps in the ecosystem. Taking advantage of this chance, the Titanoboa grew bigger and stronger until it was the ultimate predator. Comparison with present snakes. The python and the anaconda, which may reach a length of 30 feet, are the largest snakes in the world today. Although these snakes are magnificent, the Titanoboa dwarfs them. Compared to contemporary snakes, the Titanoboa would have been a completely distinct animal due to its immense size and length. It was unparalleled in its capacity to confine crocodiles and other huge animals. In contrast to contemporary snakes that use venom and speed to seize its prey, the primary advantage of the Titanoboa was its strength. It would proceed cautiously and slowly, awaiting the ideal opportunity to attack and overwhelm its target. The Titanoboa is a fascinating animal to study because of this disparity in hunting behavior, which provides insight into how huge predators originally dominated the planet. The reason behind Titanoboa's ophidophobia. One of the most prevalent phobias in the world is ophidophobia, or the fear of snakes. Even a tiny snake can cause severe fear in many people. Now, picture running into one that's 40 feet long and could easily crush you. It's simple to understand how the Titanoboa could have caused such a strong reaction. The huge size alone is enough to freeze you to the bone, and the knowledge that it was formerly common in Paleocene jungles further heightens the fear. The Titanoboa is a thing of the past now, yet the terror it causes remains. The Titanoboa tale still haunts us, whether it's through myths, fossils, or documentaries. It serves as a reminder that in the past there were massive, strong creatures on Earth that could have made even the most courageous people shudder. Titanoboa's significance in recognizing evolution. Paleontologists now have important new information on evolution and the Earth's prehistoric ecosystems thanks to the discovery of Titanoboa. Scientists can learn more about the conditions that led Titanoboa to reach such a massive size and how its evolutionary path differed from that of present snakes by examining its mutilated remains. Although scientists are aware that snakes developed over millions of years from land-dwelling reptiles, the exact timeline of this evolution was unknown until Titanoboa's discovery. This snake most likely developed into a specialist predator by adjusting to the environmental demands of river systems and tropical rainforests. Because of its evolution, which was fueled by the necessity for effective hunting techniques and the abundance of food, paleontologists can better understand how life adapted to post-dinosaur environments. Using its surroundings to control body temperature was one of Titanoboa's most important evolutionary adaptations. Titanoboa was cold-blooded, which means that its body functions were controlled by the temperature outside, in contrast to warm-blooded animals like mammals or birds. Given that normal cold-blooded creatures hardly ever attain such sizes, its stature is all the more remarkable. The Paleocene's mild temperatures gave Titanoboa a stable environment in which to grow without the constraints that modern cold-blooded species encounter in colder climates. The Titanoboa in popular culture. Titanoboa has captivated the interest of both scientists and the general public, leaving a lasting mark on our imagination. It's hardly surprising that this ancient serpent has been the focus of documentaries, novels, and films, given its scary size and predatory tendencies. The 2010 show, Titanoboa Monster Snake, on the Discovery Channel featured one of the most well-known representations of Titanoboa. The Titanoboa's prehistoric habitat was reenacted in the video to depict how this enormous snake would have hunted its victims and controlled its territory. The terrifying knowledge that such a beast existed in Earth's far past, in addition to the stunning imagery, enthralled viewers around the world. Titanoboa swiftly rose to prominence as a representation of prehistoric might, a reminder of how drastically the world has changed and how much larger and more terrible creatures formerly roamed it. The picture of the snake coiling around its victim, gliding through the dark jungle with spooky silence, struck a connection with spectators and established Titanoboa as a figure of mystery. The concept of a 40-foot snake also stimulates the interest of horror enthusiasts, as it may be found in a variety of pop culture mediums, such as video games, books, and fictional TV shows. The basic concept is still the same, despite the fact that these depictions frequently overstate its skill. Titanoboa is a monster so huge and terrifying that it generates our inherent dread of snakes, or ophidophobia. These days, social media, internet forums, and countless publications about large snakes, extinct animals, and prehistoric predators all contribute to the myth of Titanoboa. Its picture is frequently used to emphasize the incredible beauty of extinct animals. The Titanoboa's fall. After the dinosaurs became extinct, the Titanoboa lived through a period of significant change. But when the Earth's atmosphere and temperature changed, the circumstances that had allowed for the existence of such a huge beast also started to transform. Eventually, cooler, drier climates replaced the warm, tropical rainforests of the Paleocene, and atmospheric oxygen levels started to drop. Titanoboa and other species sizes would have been impacted by these changes. Titanoboa's food supplies probably diminished, and its habitat became less habitable as oxygen levels dropped and temperatures became less constant. The huge snake's dominance in the ecosystem ended as smaller creatures and more nimble predators took over. Like so many other animals that formerly dominated the planet, the Titanoboa eventually went extinct. But Titanoboa's legacy endures in the fossil record, serving as a reminder that the planet once supported giant animals. Never-ending fascination with Titanoboa. Titanoboa is now a representation of prehistoric amazement due to its discovery and subsequent media representation. We still have a deep-seated dread and respect for one of nature's most powerful predators because of its immense size and predatory skills. When we consider the Titanoboa as a reminder of our small size and vulnerability in the face of nature's unadulterated might rather than just a historical creature, appetizer becomes easier to comprehend. Even if the Titanoboa is no longer on the planet, its fear is still present. Whether through fictional representations, documentaries, or fossil discoveries, Titanoboa reminds us of the enormous animals that previously roamed the planet. It inspires us to appreciate the amazing diversity of life that has existed throughout Earth's history and to learn more about the prehistoric past of our planet. Titanoboa inspires a fear of snakes, but also of the great power of nature and of animals whose existence once marked a time. This explains why the Titanoboa is such a fascinating character and why it still evokes appetizer in anybody who sees it. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of prehistoric giants, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more thrilling content about the wonders and mysteries of the past. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an adventure. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.